All right, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys have been okay. So a couple days ago, someone left in the comments asking about like my workout program and whatnot. So some of you might know. If not, that's fine. Whatever. I will do kind of like a full body split every day. So daily full body. Um, So the reason why, first of all, like the reason why I want to do daily full body is because I feel like it grants me a type of like freedom to do whatever like exercises I want to do. And I kind of feel more accomplished in a way by leaving, each session knowing that I did like, my entire body. Um, and it's a lot more simpler, to be honest, than like a regular workout split. In terms of like, okay, I'm going to do pulling on this day, or I'm going to do pushing on this day. Then I'm going to do arms on this day. Then I'm going to do legs on this day. So it's like this way I can work out my entire body like every single day instead of splitting things up. But I manage recovery and fatigue pretty well by making sure I'm not going to failure on most of the exercises. I switch out like variations of these exercises here and there just to make sure like, I'm not overworking anything. Basically I just listen to my body. Now I would not recommend this type of training program to any beginner. I'm about 2.5 years into training. I would not recommend this to someone who like just started out, or maybe even someone who's a year in. Maybe someone who's just a bit more experienced, who has just a bit more knowledge of their body and how their body works and how well they recover and things like that. You also might be thinking like, don't I get sore? Barely. I barely get sore anymore. But my body's very used to the fatigue and the stimulus. But to go over I guess like the actual split, like, the exercises or sets and reps, whatever. So what I do is I do 2 pulling exercises, 2 pushing exercises, a core exercise, and a leg exercise for 100 or so reps, right? And that's specifically for the leg exercises. So to kind of like go through it, so I might start off with doing pull-ups, supersetted with dips, and then I'll do 3 sets of that. And what I'll do is I'll take a rep count that I can perform comfortably. What in the hell? I'll take a rep count that I can perform comfortably, and I'll I'll just repeat that for each set. I might do like, maybe 1 more, 2 more reps. Maybe I might even do less depending on how my body feels. Again, you just have to listen to your body. And then after that, I'll do like 3 sets of chin-ups and 3 sets of like push-ups. Of course, I'll change up the variations. It might be like ring chin-ups, or it might be diamond push-ups, or it might be, parallel push-ups, whatever the case may be. Same thing, like I might do close grip pull-ups. I might do rows. I might do pike push-ups, things like that. I just try and switch it out every other day or so, just to kind of like, just make sure I get through a good amount of exercises without, leading to overuse injury, or, whatever the case may be. And what I try and do is I try and focus purely on the form of these movements. So I really want to make sure I'm very slow and controlled, and I'm really feeling everything, to a proper degree. Okay, so then going through the rest of it, I'll do a core exercise. So that means like either sit-ups or leg raises. Most of the time I do leg raises. That is like the number 1 core exercise that I've been doing like almost since day 1 of me training. And so I'm very comfortable with those exercises, especially hanging leg raises. I very much enjoy the hanging aspect because it's very good for your grip. Sometimes here and there I'll do like a max hold of of a dead hang at the end of those sets. By the way, I only do 2 sets of core exercises. So I do 3 sets of those 2 pulling movements, 3 sets of those 2 pushing movements, 2 sets of leg raises and like 1 set of like 100 to 120 reps of a leg movement. So getting to that leg movement, right? I will either it will either be like a lunge, a squat, a Hindu squat, a wide stance squat, whatever the case may be, right? And I'll just do 100 reps. I'd say at most maybe 120, but I average from like 100 to 110, and I try and do this every day. Well, I have been doing this every day so far. And then I'll also add in back extensions, or you might call them hyperextensions, just to kind of make sure I work the back of my hamstring. And I'll superset that with whatever core exercise I'm doing then. Because I did notice, at some point I got like this weird tightness in like my glutes and the back of my leg because I wasn't training that area, as often as I was doing like lunges and squats. So you really want to make sure you kind of balance things out. You don't have to do back extensions like every day, or at least I don't do them every day, but I might do them every other day, every 2 days or something like that. I just throw them in when they're like necessary. In terms of that, that's about like everything. But as of the very late, what I have been doing because of school and wanting to conserve time, when it comes to me completing assignments and whatnot, I have been kind of as if breaking up that usual workout, the usual split in half. So let's say one day I'll do 3 sets of pull-ups, 3 sets of dips or pike push-up, and then I'll do a core exercise, and then I'll do, my 100 reps for my legs, right? And then the next day I'll do chin-ups, push-ups, and then I'll do core exercise, and then I'll do, my 100 reps of the leg exercise. So that way I'm kind of splitting it in half. It's not going to take as long, but I only do that when it's like, okay, I know that it'd be best for me to, shorten this workout a bit because I know I'm going to need the extra time so I can, work on assignments, or so I can make sure I go to sleep, at a reasonable time tonight, things like that. So again, it just takes like, adjusting to your own surroundings, and whatnot. And I very much like the way that I train, They're probably, having a workout split, things like that. It probably, might be better. It might be more optimal, quote unquote, but it's like, I just enjoy, the way I train, and, I just detailed it out to you guys. And I started full body because, like, again, it was just kind of like a simpler way to do it. When you kind of separate everything and chop up everything, you're kind of like treating your body as if like they're like completely separate parts instead of like one unit that works together. So it's like I just choose the most like basic movements that will work my entire body. So, a horizontal pushing exercise, a vertical pushing exercise, a horizontal pulling exercise, a vertical pushing exercise. And I know you might think like pull up and chin up are both vertical, but the way I do pull-ups at the very top range of motion, it's basically a horizontal movement. It's almost like a row. So, but it's like, I would probably recommend that you probably do rows because it's just good for general shoulder health and whatnot. And then a core exercise, and then a leg exercise. Of course, hitting your core and your legs are very important. We, use our core and our legs like every day. So why not train them, of course, to get them stronger, and you can just perform better throughout the day. So far I haven't faced any problems, especially when it comes to recovery and whatnot. And again, I think it's very fun. It's very challenging to make sure I do 100 squats every day, right? It's like something I have to build up to. It's just kind of funny. I guess it's also kind of like a bit of a challenge too, considering what it is that I have to do every day. But another thing is, I'm not going to follow that exact split like every single day or whatever. I might throw in like a couple of like tricep extensions. I might throw in, Some type of like not barbell, but some type of like bicep work. Like I might get on the dip bars and I might do some like bicep curls, or I might do some tricep extensions. Just kind of hit my arms a little bit, or my forearms. And it's just kind of like, again, just to, throw in some variety, maybe help with like any tendon or elbow issues, because isolating, your arms are very good to make sure your shoulders and your elbows don't get like so beat up from doing the same things all the time. Yeah, I very much enjoy this style of training. I've been doing it for a couple months, or a month now, probably. I haven't faced any problems. I barely use like any added weight, but it would make sense because that would increase the intensity, and with increasing the intensity, it would make recovery a lot harder. So I've just been progressing on just with body weight in general. And it's like, week to week, or session to session, I'll try and like increase the amount of reps I do a day. So like an example is like dips, right? So I remember one time, I think I was like, okay, I'm only going to do like 12 dips, right? And then every day I would just do one more rep, and I worked my way up to like 17 or 18 dips for each set, or at least for the first set, I would try and aim for that. And then you can kind of like switch that in between exercises, just kind of do like one exercise at a time. And, maybe keep track of it or write it down. Since I'm recording myself, it's like, that's the easier way to keep track, rather than like, maybe writing it down in a notebook. But, that's whatever. But with the whole adding weight thing, like if you want to train, weighted calisthenics in general, like that's fine. But do not act as if weighted calisthenics is somehow going to give you more gains than using your body weight. It's not like as if using weight on your body is just going to somehow like add more muscle sooner than it would if you were to do, just body weight exercises. Especially if you are treating your form with like the utmost respect whatsoever. What you will find is that usually your form is going to degrade when you are, pushing or pulling heavy weights within weighted calisthenics, because you're trying to move as much weight as possible. But with your body weight, over time, to make things more challenging, you're going to try and have some like, picture perfect textbook form. You're going to slow down your reps. You're going to play with tempos. You're going to play with variations and stuff like that. You're going to try and become more creative, I would say, because it's like, okay, I only have my body weight to work with. And, that way I have to try and, make, what's best of it. And again, I kind of see that as something beautiful, I mean, to make something out of like literally nothing, like again, like access to calisthenics, like to the two most basic exercises in calisthenics, like push up and squat. You can do that with no equipment, right? And you can do sit-ups with no equipment. You can do leg raises with no equipment. There's so many other things. You can do like glute bridges, stuff like that, no equipment. And you can build so much, especially if you get stay consistent on it. That's like something amazing. But I guess that's a little off topic. So that's my training split: full body every day. 2 pulling exercises, 2 pushing exercises, 1 core exercise, and a leg exercise for 100 to 120 reps. I do that every day. I might cut it in half, whatever. But it's still full body every day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For the person who commented that, I hope that I explained everything clear and whatnot, and that maybe I inspired some people to try and train like me. But yeah, see you guys in the next video.